So check this out, as I think it represents everything going on with Trump and his people. This photo, file 468 from the Epstein files that includes Donald Trump, has apparently now been removed from the DOJ release. Attorney General Pam Bondi, is this true? What else is being covered up? We need transparency for the American people. And basically this photo, right, again, file 468, you'll be hearing a lot about this probably in the future, depicts a lot of other photos, and you also have photos in the drawer, photos on the desk, you have documents as well. You can see it right there in clear as day. And the question is like, how much stuff is out there? And my personal opinion is the truth eventually is going to come out, as you can't hide the stuff forever. And then on top of that, as Trump people are completely spiraling out, this is just one of many issues that we're going to go over today. They're doing really strange things and acting strange ways in their cult. So check this out. This was at the Charlie Kirk event thing, Turning Point USA. Look at what they're doing right now. They're taking selfies with basically a recreation of where he died. It's strange. Look at this.
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September, and people are taking selfies with it. You can see.
And it's weird, right? So they recreate the scene where he died, and people are taking selfies with said thing. The whole thing is bonkers, but yet, remember, all this stuff is connected to Trump, who's also bonkers and acting even more strange. Today, he was saying some really bizarre, whacked out stuff about Melania. Check this out.
Went into my wife's closet, and I'll say this, number one, it's very bad, but it sounds a little strange. They looked at her drawers. You have drawer, and then you have drawer. They looked at both. And she's a very meticulous person, like these people, just like she'd fit into your group very well. She'd be very happy with her, but everything is perfect. Her undergarments, sometimes referred to as panties, are folded, perfect, wrapped. They're like so perfect. I said, that's beautiful. It's the part of the world she came from. Everything was perfect, no problem. Fold, fold, fold. I think that she steams them, make sure. We came home. I wasn't there when the raid took place. A raid of a popular president, a former president.
I don't know. I mean, he's talking about panties. He's talking about raids. The whole thing is bizarre, and you can just see him losing it live. That's why I keep saying I think he's going to be a lame duck after midterms, and I'll be surprised if he makes it to 4 years. You can literally watch him deteriorate. While that's going on, we're actually causing stuff around the world now. This is the headline from Wall Street Journal. U.S. seizes second oil tanker near Venezuela. We just talked about the other one. I think that was about like a week ago already. We're using U.S. forces for this. Trump was saying we're going to blockade down there. And this is just breaking now, just a few minutes ago. U.S. intercepts second tanker in Venezuela blockade. And I keep wondering, as we just attacked Syria also too, that was just yesterday we were just talking about that. But I keep wondering too, is like Trump looking for some sort of world war here or something? Because there's something really disturbing about this particular one that just happened. I'll just read it to you guys. It says the U.S. stopped and boarded a Chinese-owned oil tanker in the Caribbean on Saturday. Several media outlets reported after President Donald Trump ordered a blockade on sanctioned oil tanker traveling to and from Venezuela. So again, Chinese owned. They're saying this has a couple million barrels of oil on it. They were saying they were flying a Panama flag. Chinese company holds the title, right? And this is also reported by Reuters and Axios. I don't know what to make of this as this was just reported. We'll get more when I find out more myself. But I'll just say this, all of these actions taken together just shows how Trump and his people are overextended, and people are going to start calling this stuff out. But I just want you to understand that you're not alone in seeing like this absolute craziness, right? Like if you're just like, shaking your fist at the screen every time, we go through this stuff, or it's like, how is this even, still going? I'll just say you're not alone. Other people can see what's going on also. For example, in Columbus, Ohio, they were just talking out today, many leaders, how they're going to resist what Trump is doing with ICE. I want you to have a listen to what they're saying here.
Some will look at these ICE operations and say, this is who we are. We will look at Columbus residents stepping up and say, no, that is who we are.
Immigrants, new Americans, refugees, and naturalized neighbors contribute to our economy, our culture, our vibrancy, our safety, and so much more. We are who we are as a community because of our diversity and uniqueness.
We value everyone in the city of Columbus. I know the pain that people may feel watching the TV, seeing what's going on with ICE enforcement across the country, and now they're maybe seeing it on their social media feeds or on the news here in Columbus.
This is a disruption for our entire community. At a time when we should be celebrating and coming together as a community, we're coming together under circumstances that nobody wanted.
This is our home. This means all of us. We do not want our neighbors living in fear. We don't want anyone in our community to fear calling the police in a time of need.
We all share the same commitment to keeping Columbus safe. We all stand shoulder to shoulder with our immigrant and refugee community right now.
No city resources, including Columbus Police, will be used to investigate residents based solely on their immigration status. The relevant Columbus Police Division directive states, sworn personnel shall not arrest or detain persons based solely on immigration status or for immigration and customs enforcement unless a warrant exists or a criminal violation was observed.
We will not.
And I just want you to see that, to understand that you're not alone. There are other people who can see what's happening as well, and they understand the rule of law. And also, I want to make it really clear why the Trump movement, or if I want to call that stuff, Charlie Kirk or whatever, is unsustainable, because they're only focused on just a small group of people in the USA. What we're seeing here is, say, in Columbus, is people from all kinds of backgrounds coming together. And for me, that's what America is. I just want to be frank on that. I don't know how to say it, because I know for some people you feel like everything's fracturing. Not necessarily. That's why I show you this, what's going on in Columbus. And, the Ohio State University is there, right? And there's a lot of university towns out there where are very, very kind and welcoming to people from all over the world. And I know if you're watching my channel, you're probably one of these people. You get it, right? I just don't know what else to say. And if you guys know my story, you may or may not know, I was born in Vietnam. The U.S. military brought me to the USA. I had no choice in the matter. It's a long story. I lost my family. I was not a citizen for several years, so I would have been clearly targeted from the Trump people. But the whole citizenship was it's very, very complicated, right? I mean, again, I was brought to the USA, had no choice in the matter, and then the paperwork to become citizen is really, really long and arduous, and it's confusing at many times. And then my wife, we had issues with immigration as well. My wife's a Korean national, right? I'm a U.S. citizen. And here's the thing is like a lot of people have all sorts of different statuses and relationships and stuff like that. And I think the main issue what I have with any of the stuff that Trump is doing is just rule of law, right? I'm fine having any discussion, debate on any of this stuff, but I want to do that in an honest way, and again, follow the rule of law, which I think is a perfectly reasonable way to talk about this stuff. And then we need to see the way that the Trump people, talk about things. They just make crap up all the time, and it should be obvious it's no way sustainable. You can't lie your way forever. Like, for example, this was just Trump just a few hours ago. They're posting at the White House. This is what they say, according to them: lower prices, bigger paychecks, money bags. That's what they tweet out. And I always say the same thing. When you look at the stuff, you know the truth in these things. You know your situation. Do you agree? Lower prices, bigger paychecks. That's not what I'm seeing from people in our community or in the news. Trump will also say more jobs. Okay, what are you talking about, right? Lower drug prices, a stronger economy for American families. Like, it's just all crazy. And he gets all these people behind him to hold up these signs that say, bigger paycheck, lower prices. But I don't think anyone's really seeing that. I don't know who these people are who, holding up these signs. But then it goes back to, this is unsustainable. Even their more mustache party stuff, they're falling away also. Listen to this.
So it's very clear that this was all another trick. This is all just part of the bag of tricks. And I'll tell you what happened. Trump tricked the media and the public into watching this garbage. His approval ratings are in the toilet. His favorability is in the toilet. People's opinion of his job approval, specifically on the economy and immigration, is in the toilet. It's all bad. Trump is unpopular with his own base because of the exit of Marjorie Greene, the handling of the Epstein files, the post about Rob Reiner.
And you get the idea, right? Even when you start to lose the mustache party people, you know things are going bad. But everything's going bad for them, and that's why he's spiraling out of control. And then he's even talking about cognitive tests in some weird way. Listen to this.
First day in 28 days, these people are sick. That's why I've taken more physicals, because I think you have an obligation to, report. And I hate when they put out false reports. So they put out a report that Donald Trump. So I took a lot of physicals. And I did something no other president's ever done. I took cognitive tests. Because I know that, and by the way, not easy. You get to those last questions, those last 10, 15 questions, nobody on that stand could answer probably any of them. And I got them, I aced them. And
I want to make this clear, like the test is actually quite easy. It's just basically a test, are you live? Can you hear what we're saying, right? And he's like bragging about passing said things, and it's also odd to brag about said things because normally they only give this to you if they're like concerned about you. And so he's like bragging that, oh, people are concerned about me, but I passed. And then he'll describe like some of the questions. Listen.
No other president's taken a cognitive. Could you imagine Sleepy Joe taking a cognitive test? I don't think it got the first question is like, what is this? And they show a lion, a giraffe, a fish, and a hippopotamus, right? And they say, which is the giraffe? So that's the only question. But what happens is it then gets harder. I don't think Joe would have gotten the first question right. He would say hippo. I want the hippo. But anyway, I've taken now 3 cognitive tests. I've aced every single one of them. And
I just shake my head because I don't think many people are going to go along with this forever. There's no way a dude bragging about that he can identify, what a giraffe is or a hippo or whatever. It's laughably absurd. Every day is like another day of South Park episode, right? And then when you check the news, because I want to show you everything, the fight over the next Fed chair is spilling out across DC and Wall Street. Basically, Trump wanted to pick a loyalist to him. All signs are pointing to Kevin Hassett. Evidently, I think the big money's pushing back against him because they're just like, man, if you appoint just one of your lackeys, you're going to just melt down everything. And listen to how the Wall Street Journal describes it because it's pretty funny. This is from the Wall Street Journal. They said, Trump said at a cabinet meeting he had narrowed his list down to 1. Interviews with other contenders were suddenly canceled. Okay, so Trump actually had a plan. We're going to go with Hassett, right? Everything pointed to Kevin Hassett, longtime economic advisor. He runs that National Economic Council thing, and that's basically a bunch of Trump people who just make up numbers. And then listen to this from the Wall Street Journal. Then came the reality TV show plot twist. Walsh was suddenly back in contention with what Trump viewed as a strong interview last week, according to an administration official. Fed Governor Christopher Waller is also in the running, interviewing with Trump this week and picking up backing from corporate chiefs. Rick Ryder, right, senior executive at BlackRock, is scheduled to be interviewed by Trump at his president's private Florida Club Margo during the last week of the year, according to senior administration official. The reason why I'm showing you guys this stuff is you can clearly see that Trump's not in control here, right? Like he was like, I really, really want to get Hassett. I really want to get Hassett. And he's getting a lot of pushback. And then suddenly, and he even said before in public, like, oh, it's down to 1. I'll make the decision soon. But now they're clearly interviewing other people. That's been the reports of these things. And you can't make stuff up. Like people are going to see the flight logs. People are going to say, Trump meeting with said people. And I think this just shows that everyone sees where Trump is trying to, basically put things off the rails, right? Crash everything. But there is some pushback here. And we're going to see how this plays out. I can't predict the future 100 other than that the Trump movement is clearly unsustainable and clearly dying out. And any one of these scandals that I've been showing you guys today is going to crash out for them. So that's my thoughts on this. Please stay safe out there. And I'll catch you all in the next video.